Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
You know, when the matriarch speaks, historically, you better shut the fuck up and listen. And if you're within the sound of my voice, that must mean you are in the seats with once more. As always, my name is Dave Voigt, and I'm the host of this podcast, where we sit down with a wide-ranging variety of industry professionals, and we pick their brain about current projects, state of the industry, how they got started, and so very, very much more in a light and conversational fashion. And if you like how we do things around here, I'm going to assume that you do, because, quite frankly, you're listening right now. Please subscribe to the podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Give us the like. Give us the 5-star rating. Basically on any platform that you get your podcast. We're on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google. It's pretty much all good. And plus we archive every single one of our episodes over at our In the Seats YouTube channel. So if you can give us a like and subscribe there, we would absolutely appreciate it. Also, don't hesitate to check us out on social media. We're on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, and we're on the Instagram at, well, where else would we be? We're at In the Seats for all sorts of fun updates. And finally, and I do dare say most importantly, please pay us a visit over at In the Seats, intheseats.ca, for all the latest and greatest from the world of film, television, basically the moving image at large. Because if we love to watch it and write about it and talk about it, we love it when you come by and read about it and listen about it. So please pay us a visit. On this episode, we got a good one. We got another good one. Not only is this something that is streaming on over at our friends at Paramount Plus right now, but it is also available on DVD and Blu-ray right now, because what we are doing is we are talking about the one and only Mayor of Kingstown, which had its first season come out on Blu-ray and DVD this past week. But like I said, it is also streaming over on Paramount Plus. If you want to check it out there or buy the disc, you can do that too. It's all good. But it's a crime drama, and it's a really, really good one. It's the story of the McCluskey family, who are they're power brokers, really, in this town of Kingstown, Michigan, and they're dealing with racism, corruption, inequities, inequality, where in this town, the town is driven by sort of the business of incarcerating people, and it's a social statement. It's really an interesting commentary on just the state of the prison system in the United States, but just sort of what bores out of that as well, and how it can really be, a toxic thing for so many towns around North America as well. It's a fantastic show, and it's it's from people you might recognize, Hugh Dillon and Taylor Sheridan, who has been all over TV these days. But again, this is another high-quality drama that we cannot recommend enough. And it stars the one and only Jeremy Renner and a few other people. But we got to talk with the one and only Dianne Wiest, the legend of stage and screen, who co-stars in this show as Miriam McCluskey, the matriarch of said family. And we had the unique pleasure of talking with Dianne just about how she got the show, and just sort of what it says, and really the unique nature of television as well, just given how the format is really allowing actors a chance to sit with characters and allow them to grow, and really allow them to give performances that have so many layers. I mean, there's so much good stuff going on TV right now. We don't have to tell you that, but this is yet another entry into that you definitely need to check out. And if you do want to catch up on Mayor of Kingstown, like I said, the first season is now available on DVD and Blu-ray from all your favorite retailers, and it's also streaming on Paramount Plus. If you haven't signed up for that, I do recommend you do that now. But first, enjoy our talk with Dianne Wiest, because between you and me, it's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
But obviously, thank you for the time, and congratulations on the show. I absolutely love it. I mean, I love your character. I mean, she's a bit of a scene stealer. She's one of these characters that, when she talks, people listen. Like, walk me through, I guess, sort of the early days of getting pitched this character.
Well, I was drawn to it because it was not because of, I'm imagining, this is terrible. I'm imagining listening to this on a podcast in the car as I'm driving and thinking, oh my gosh, Dianne, please make sense. But I was drawn to it because it's about our prison system, which is America's prison system, which is really just terrible.
Yeah.
In this country, as I know you're aware. But that's what drew me to it initially. And then Mariam herself is just because of, I guess, because of the loss of her husband and the shooting of her oldest boy, the shooting of her husband also, in this gang world that she inhabits in this prison town. She's given up on family. She doesn't believe in it or anything anymore. And she takes that rage out on her son, Jeremy Renner, and on her youngest son, Taylor Handley. And, it's a rough way to live.
No, for sure.
Filled with rage.
Now, I mean, I'm curious from your perspective, because, I mean, obviously this is, getting a character like this, like there's layers, you get to do work. And I mean, to me, the modern TV boom, just with so much good content out there, it almost feels akin to going back to the stage. And I mean, I'm kind of curious, how do the two relate, being able to sort of have time to work with a character as opposed to it being sort of a 6-week shoot and you have to sort of jump in and jump out?
Yeah, well, it keeps evolving. You don't have to get to a finish line. It's an evolution, which is wonderful, and not, as you say, not unlike the stage, because every performance, it goes deeper. You're doing the same thing, not at all. You're doing something different because you're giving it to a different audience in a play, and their reactions are, of course, different in a play. But in the series, the character surprises you, what she can do, what she cannot do, what she's capable of giving, and what she absolutely won't give an inch to. And it's a surprise, and that's wonderful. It's wonderful to be surprised by what you're doing.
Well, and I would imagine it allows you to sort of appreciate the emotional moment as opposed to trying to recreate it over and over.
Well, you don't recreate it over and over in a play or in a film, even though, it is a different take, or I can't do that. I have to do it differently, otherwise it's dead, which I know is irritating to some people, directors mainly, but I can't help myself. There you go.
Well,
Otherwise, what's the point?
No, exactly. And I mean, it's kept you working. So I mean, and that's an important thing.
What's the point of doing it? You're going to repeat yourself? No, thank you.
Now, I've got to ask, because I mean, honestly, I think some of my favorite roles of yours have been comedic ones. And I mean, almost scene stealer ones, for something like The Birdcage, getting to play, straight woman opposite like Robin and Nathan, obviously must have been a joy. But I mean, I'm curious, when you read a script, what is it about the material? Like, what do you look for in the material that makes you want to say yes?
You want it can't be just about your part, your character. If it's not a good script, it doesn't matter what your character does or doesn't do. It has to be a good story. It has to be, everybody has to be good. Otherwise, what have you got? A solo performance that nobody's ever going to want to see. So what draws me is what would draw you, what would draw anyone, is an interesting story, a compelling story.
No, right? I'm curious for you, because we're celebrating the anniversary of some big movies that you've been a part of, some stuff like Lost Boys and Radio Days. And I mean, I'm kind of curious for you as an actor, how does it feel to have sort of these iconic moments sort of along your career list that people remember and will still remember long after both of us are gone?
Oh, aren't you kind? Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm amazed by it. I don't think like that. I'm not thinking, did I do an iconic moment ever? I just don't think. And when somebody comes up to me and says, I will never forget, or I still repeat to myself, or I still see, or this helped me. I'm so touched. I'm so deeply touched and very, very honored that they would remember that.
Now, I mean, obviously, as more and more people get to see this show, I'm kind of curious, what do you hope audiences take away? Because, I mean, for me, obviously, it is a commentary on the prison system, like you said, but it really does make a statement on just sort of the nature of family as well, and just how convoluted it can truly get sometimes. And for you, what do you hope audiences pull from this film, from this show?
Well, I hope that uh, they would do something. I mean, even if it's support the bail fund, which shouldn't even be in existence, that a person has to pay bail to get out of prison before they're convicted. But anyway, I would hope they would want to do something to change our prison system, our justice system. And then as concerns family, I would hope that they see that Miriam, being filled with rage as she is, it's impossible to have a life. You can't live that way. You can't sustain it. You can't sustain yourself on hate. That somehow that has to break. And no matter what wrongs have been visited on you by members of your family, you have to ease, stretch, whatever, let it go. Just let it go.
Wise
There's
words
no
for
right,
sure.
no wrong.
Wise words. And I mean, I honestly, I love your work in this show. And I mean, I just love watching you work. I'm a big fan, always have been. But just
Thank
again,
you. Thank
congrats
you
on the
so
show, and
much.
thank you again for the time.
Thank you so much.
All
Say
right.
hi to Toronto.
I will, absolutely. And don't forget to visit our friends over at Bay Street Video for all your DVD, Blu-ray rental, or purchasing needs this summer, as they are still open for curbside and some mailing delivery as well. Over at 1172 Bay Street, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you can give them a call at 416-964-9088. That's 416-964-9088. Or send them an email at baystreetvideoto@gmail.com for any of your DVD and Blu-ray needs.